welcome on in to another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. I'm Terry, that's Nick on beside me, Tim down below, and we are ready to break down some baseball and a hockey game and maybe a little bit of basketball too. Maybe we'll have a little surprise basketball section here before the end of the show. There were some afternoon games in baseball today.
Let's not talk about my suck.
Yeah, currently the Jays are currently playing 1-0 against the White Sox.
You have to focus, Terry. You gotta have to.
Yankees are up 6-1 against the Angels. 3-0 Tampa Bay against Texas. And that is all we have so far. The Twins lost against Detroit earlier on. 3-2.
I had the under.
I never touched that game, so it works out. We'll go on to so what I did, we're going to do things a little bit differently today. I put there's 8 games, so I put 4 in 2 different sets, and we'll just kind of briefly go through the 4 and if we like anything or not. I'll be honest, most of my plays are already done or in play baseball-wise, so I'll just go through basically what I have here. San Francisco, Miami, the one game I do like a couple things. I took Miami money line full game minus 140 and Miami first 5 run line minus a half at plus 110. To kind of go against myself, if Miami does lose this game, I can see they are just leaving Coors Field, where they just got a whole bunch of hits, probably feeling like pretty good about their hitting. Now they're going to come back to Miami, and it could be a little bit of a shell shock. So that's the only little thing I'm worried about. Otherwise, they have a huge pitching advantage, and I do like the fact that they are at home. So I'm on Miami here. Alcantara right now is just playing really good. So it's easy to back him. I wish that they were facing a righty because Miami's much better against righties, but can't always get what you want. And sometimes if you look at the Mets, for instance, much better against righties, but they can smash some lefties too. So in that one, I think I like Miami. In the Cincinnati game, I'm taking Cincinnati first 5 money line. I'm backing the Reds. The reason is they're facing the Nationals. It's Joan Adon on the mound for the Nationals. Ashcraft has pitched pretty well. So I'm going to go here with the first 5 money line, thinking that Cincinnati could be at least tied, hopefully winning after 5 innings. Angels Yankees, I went so big on Yankees first game that I'm probably not going to go back to them here on the second game. I'm probably going to leave it alone. It is Teon versus Detmers, so I do like the pitching matchup for the Yankees now more than had it been Ohtani instead. But then again, Ohtani, you can seeing what he did in the first game. In my opinion, he's kind of like Yu Darvish, where he pitches really well, or he just plays absolutely shit. So that's basically my opinion for that. And Seattle, Baltimore, I'm not in the over 9 as of right now, but I'm kind of thinking I should just go back to it here. Flexen and Lyles. This series has been going over a ton so far. I think we can get 10 runs, so I'll probably be adding the over 10 as well. Nick, the first 4 games, what do you think?
Yeah, I've got action on the Cincinnati, Washington, Seattle, Baltimore game. With Cincinnati and Washington, yeah, it's Joan Adon, and his numbers have been horrible. He has the highest Sierra on the slate for the last 28 days. He also in the last 28 days, he's walked 6 batters per 9 innings, a 167 FIP, which is also WHIP, which is also the highest on the slate as well. I expect some runs there. For the Cincinnati Reds, I have their team total over 4.5 and the full game over 9.5. I am expecting some scoring in this game. And I also like, so that's kind of where I was going for that one there. Reds team total over and the full game over. And then with the Baltimore Orioles and the Seattle Mariners, I'm right back on I'm on the Orioles in this spot here. I was looking at the Orioles yesterday. I did not pull the trigger on it, and I wish I did. I'm on the Orioles first 5 money line and the team total over 3.5. We have Chris Flexen, who has not looked very good. He has the highest FIP in the last 28 days on the slate. He has a 4.7 Sierra. He's walking 3.76 batters per 9 innings. He has a 163 whip, which is second highest on the slate other than Jonah Dawn. 313 BABIP. He's just not been pitching well this year, especially recently. So I'm looking to target him a little bit. I like the team total over 3.5 for the Orioles and that first 5 money line for Baltimore as well.
All right. Tim, the first 4 games of tonight's slate. Any thoughts on them?
Yes. I did not bet. The only one I have bet is that Washington game. But with that San Francisco-Miami game, big Alcantara fan here. I love Alcantara. He's made me a lot of money this year. This is not a good situational spot for the Marlins at all. They're coming off of a doubleheader in Colorado where they use so many bullpen arms. And now they're coming back home against San Francisco. They just won a series against the Phillies, but coming off a loss. I feel like I might end up adding this onto my card. I like the Giants in this matchup. I just really don't think it's a good spot for the Marlins. I think the main reason that I kept off of it because, hey, they might have used pretty much every single bullpen arm they have, but if Alcantara goes 8 innings, it doesn't matter. So that's kind of the point that I did not go after this game and probably won't. But I'm definitely looking at the Giants. Might add it, might not, but it's not a Marlins spot for me. Washington, Cincinnati. Joan give up a dong. He's going to allow a lot of runs today, even against the Cincinnati team that doesn't hit all that well. Even though Washington's gotten shut out the last, 21 innings that they've played. Granted, it was against Mets pitching, so nothing to be ashamed of there. Cincinnati's not up to that caliber, so Washington should be able to get runs as well because, hey, Washington was giving up runs and getting runs before that Mets series, and all of a sudden that died for them. But against this pitching staff, I think Cincinnati's definitely going to get 5 to 6 runs. I think Washington gets 4 to 5. I think this is going to be an ugly, high-scoring game for you guys. So if you guys like a lot of offense, Washington and Cincinnati. The LA New York game, A, game 2s I don't touch, and B, it's I don't know, it could get rained out according to Cubano. I'm not big on that one. And then Seattle and Baltimore. I don't think there's been a more disappointing team this year than Seattle, and I don't think there's been a more disappointing pitcher this year than Chris Flexen, as for a betting standpoint, because both of those teams, both Seattle and Chris Flexen, were the most profitable team. Seattle was the most profitable team in baseball, correct, Nick, last year? Sounds right. One of the most profitable teams. And then Chris Flexen was the most profitable pitcher. And they both sucked. So I kind of stayed away from that one, leaned towards Baltimore, but did not bet it.
Longest playoff drought in professional sports.
I have a World Series Seattle ticket, so I'm not happy.
Yeah, they had I think they had too much expectations, and maybe it went to their head.
Plus I think
Seattle was the most profitable last year.
Who was?
Seattle.
Yeah.
Any guesses on the number one team so far this year?
This year so far, I believe it's Arizona.
Nope.
Or it might be San Diego.
Oh, it's the Mets. It's the Mets.
Yep. It's the New York Mets and the New York Yankees.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I
could tell. I could tell Nick's. I could tell by Nick's. I could just tell.
I just found that out now. Honestly,
interesting. And we'll be getting to the Mets here in the second set of games.
Wait, the Mets are playing the Baltimore Orioles? Sweet.
Oh, that was definitely a mistake. Thanks for noticing that right away.
No, we have to play real teams. We don't get to play Baltimore.
Oh,
yeah, and guess what?
Sorry. We need to play Philadelphia.
Hold on a second.
Hold on. Wait. We have to play Philadelphia. That's the same caliber of team.
Okay. So, so you're playing Philadelphia
and Washington,
Miami, Washington.
We have not played Miami yet.
And Atlanta, and the Jays are facing Yankees and Tampa Bay and Boston. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a difference. I think there's a little bit of a different.
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, we'll go on to the second set of games here. This is the set that I don't really have a lot on. San Diego and Brewers, both teams, not teams I really want to back right now, and neither pitcher are pitchers that I really want to back right now. Padres, I'd much rather have them against a lefty, and they're a righty. Brewers, I'd much rather have against a righty. They're facing a lefty, and I don't have a good feeling about that one. In the second game here, St. Louis, Chicago. I am on the first 5 under 4.5, which I got at minus 120. You can also find the under 4 at plus money at most books. I went a little bit safe and took the under 4.5, but both these pitchers have been pitching pretty well. Thompson, especially for the Cubs. I would lean with the Cubs at minus 110 each way, but I just took the first 5 under. I think we get 2-1, 1-0. I think that's going to be a low scoring first 5 for those teams. Atlanta, Colorado. I can see runs in this one, but it's 11.5, and I'm just not interested in getting to it. Mets and Dodgers. Obviously, Dodgers, we all know what just happened to them against the Pittsburgh Pirates, and now they're facing, obviously, a much better team in the Mets. Both teams are really good against righties, so I could definitely see runs. The issue is that both pitchers have been well this year, so I can also not see runs. I see value on the Mets at plus 150. I don't think that they should be priced like that, but my gut's telling me that the Dodgers are going to bounce back from their horrible few games, and they will end up winning this game. So I can't bet this game because I could literally see anything happening in this game. There's no edge for me. I do have Trey Turner to get a hit in my 3-player hit parlay with Trevino, who got one in game 1, and Teoscar Hernandez in the Blue Jays game here that I'm waiting for. But Trey Turner's got a hit, I think, in 27 or 28 straight games. It's something crazy like that. So that's the only thing in that game that I'm kind of confident will happen, is that Trey Turner will get a hit. But other than that, not much. Sorry, guys. Nick, do you like these 4 games? Do you have anything here?
Real quick before Nick goes, if anybody bet a total or the Yankee run line, the current game is currently delayed due to rain in the top of the 9th. You might lose it.
Top of the 9th, so that they'll just call the game as is, and it'll be fine for my bucks.
Money line is fine.
If you have money line, yes. If you have run line, no.
Oh, really?
Yeah, run line has to go the entire game.
Oh,
game must go to completion.
Oh, well, I'm sure they'll finish it. But yeah, second game.
Just figure out throw that one out there.
I've had that before, but team totals, if it's already, like if you have the Yankees team total over, you're fine. I've had that before when they played the Royals once. I had the run line and the team total over. It was like 11-2, and I got voided on the run line because it didn't go at least 8.5 or midway through the 9th.
I just have their money line, and I'm on the money line on the parlay.
You're fine then. You are fine then.
Awesome. I just figured I'd mention it for other totals or run lines. But go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, looking at these slated games here, I plays on 2, and I'm looking at potentially a third play on that last game. I'm on the Padres first 5 money line at minus 110. I was looking at it. I like Sean Manaea a little bit here. I see a little bit of a pitching advantage with basically across the board on these stats that I look at for Manaea. So I'm going to look at the Padres a little bit there, and just in the first 5, not the full game, at minus 110. In Atlanta, Colorado, I like the over 11. I got it at 11.5. I think it can hit that. I wouldn't touch it if it hits 12. Both these pitchers definitely struggle. They have 2 of the higher FIPs on the slate, Sierras on the slate, 5 Sierra for Ian Anderson, 4.69 for Austin Gomber. So I do expect some runs in that Atlanta game. And in that final game there, we have the Mets and the Dodgers here. Tony Gonsolin has actually looked really good this year. He's 5-0. with, I believe, a sub-2 ERA. And we have Tajon Walker as well, who's looked good, but there is a but on that. He gets out a lot of jams. He gets himself into a little bit of trouble. He does have a 1.43 whip, which means you're going to see some base runners. It's not going to be a clean outing for Tajon Walker. And against the teams he has been playing, you can get away with that. But I don't know if you can truly get away with that against the Dodgers at this with that. So my lean for that game would actually be the Dodgers in the first 5 innings minus the half a run. It is at minus 125. I might add that later, depending on how the rest of these early games go. But I'm definitely leaning towards the Dodgers here. I can see Tajon Walker getting tagged a little bit here. Either the first 5 run line with the Dodgers or Dodgers team total over 4.5 at minus 125. I could see either or. The Mets are traveling from New York to LA, so I think that's a little bit of a disadvantage as well. I get it, the Mets are plus money, and that's very appealing. I'm just not interested in the Mets today, and that should tell you everything you need to know about the Mets game tonight, coming from a Mets fan.
All right. Well, I'm just taking a look at the best bets. So I was going to type in my best bets. I think we'll have a different opinion here from the second Earl brother. But Tim, what do you think here in the final 4 games?
Yes. I got nothing in that San Diego Milwaukee game. So I'm just gonna skip right over that one. St. Louis and Chicago has our best bet in it, but Atlanta and Colorado, I'm expecting runs and a lot of them. Atlanta is throwing out Ian Anderson, which has not been good this year. He's 4.34 ERA. In his last 2 starts, he's allowed at least 4 earned runs in each one of those, and those were against Miami. Now go up against a team in Colorado that can actually hit at home and in Coors Field. I think he allows 5 to 6 runs. And then on the other side, Austin Gomber is going for the Colorado Rockies, and he has been awful this year. 5.51 ERA in his 47 innings pitch. He's allowing earned runs. He's walking a bunch. These are 2 teams that I like their offenses, especially against these 2 pitchers. So I know it's an 11. I went over the 11 in that game. Kind of a little bit of a scary number, but that's where I went there. And then, yes, when it comes to betting baseball, I like betting teams that are winning. And when you get a team that's won 6 straight games going up against a team that just got swept by a team that's, one of the worst in baseball, yes, I'm grabbing the Mets today. Keep in mind the Dodgers, yes, they have Freeman. They have Turner that's been hitting. But this team is kind of beat up right now. They're hitting. They're missing a couple of bats. Cody Bellinger is almost non-existent right now. There's a couple of this Dodger team is not clicking, and they're just coming off of a stretch of 10 games where honestly they should have probably went 9-1 in those games, facing Washington, Arizona, and Pittsburgh. They went 6-4. That's not good for the standard of this team, and I think that they're really gonna struggle against the Mets, who are, after last night, the number 1 team in the National League. So I like the Mets. I think they get the job done. I think they win by margin. So I took the Mets on the money line for my bets, and I know when we get to the best bets, I normally like to make dogs into run line favorites. That's kind of what I did for that.
All right. And now we'll move into the NBA. So I think this might be the first time that we've actually talked.
No, I think during the NHL All-Star break, you guys did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. But hey, I'm throwing it in here. It's the finals. Why not? Next year, who knows? There might even be an NBA portion of the show. Next year. But for the finals here, it's Boston and Golden State. The spread is 3.5. The total is 213.5. Minus 110 each way. Boston money line plus 145. Golden State money line minus 165. I think the Warriors win game 1. And I think the Warriors win the series. Sorry, guys. I know you guys have it like the Celtics. I just think the Warriors are a better team. But the Celtics could be kind of that Cinderella underdog story. I do like rooting for the underdogs. So in this game one, I am backing the Warriors, but on the money line and a parlay, same game parlay. But other than that, I don't really have too much of an opinion here. I'm definitely not an NBA expert, but I do think that Golden State comes out here and wins game one. Nick, Celtics and Warriors. What do you think here?
Yeah, I'm on the opposite side here. I'm going to take the number one defense in basketball, and I'm going to take the 3.5 points. I'm going to take the plus 145 on the money line with the Boston Celtics in this game. One thing that's really caught my eye is there's a majority of the tickets, a majority of the money coming in on the Warriors. Tons and tons of money on the Warriors. Line hasn't moved an inch. Maybe a couple cents. The books have taken a stance in this game. And they said they're okay with all the Warriors money because they think the Celtics win tonight, and I'm on that side. Everybody's looking at the Warriors. They're 9-0 at home and all that fun. Celtics are 7-2 on the road this year, or in the playoffs, and they went on the road and beat the Bucks a few times. They went on the road and took 3 out of 4 on the road from Miami. So this is not a team I'm afraid that's afraid of going into enemy territory and getting wins. And I think stylistically, defensively, this Celtics team can slow down the Warriors. I'd lean towards an under in this game. I'd lean towards the Warriors team total under 108.5. I think this is a slow defensive game where the Celtics come out on top, something like 100-96 or something along those lines.
What book are you on? I have like 5 or 6 different books, so a bunch of them. But you guys, what book do you guys use?
I'm on Bovada.
I use BOL.
All right.
Bet online.
Terry's 6'5". I'm pretty sure I can dunk. I'm not 6'5". I'm like 6'1".
6'5", 245.
Tim, the NBA expert of the show. NBA Finals Game 1, Boston Golden State. What do you think here?
And I'm going to favor with Terry. I'm on the Warriors. Yeah, and when it comes to it, it's the healthier team that's going to make the best run. And normally you say, oh, time off probably doesn't go too well for teams. It actually is going to benefit the Warriors a lot. Because I know they're still Curry, Clay, Draymond. They're all getting up there in their careers. So a couple of days off doesn't hurt them. And with the couple of days off, the Golden State Warriors are going to be able to get back Otto Porter Jr. and Gary Payton, which are 2 big bench pieces. So I feel like this is going to be a really good spot for the Golden State Warriors. Plus, nice, pretty little 9-0 record at home. Nobody's beaten them at home. They 3-0'd Denver at home. They 3-0'd Memphis at home. They 3-0'd Dallas at home. Nobody's beating Golden State at home. And I feel like I feel like this game's going to be Golden State in 5, or the series is going to be Golden State in 5. And I will say that the Golden State Warriors will lose a home game. Oh yeah, Iggy is also back. Yes, for Golden State, Andre Iguodala, which has a big finals experience presence. So yes, I like that as well. I feel like if Boston takes a game, it's game 2. And I feel like they could steal a game from Golden State in Golden State, just not today. I think that the rest advantage, the fact that, and if you look at Boston through that best of 7 series in Miami, I feel like every single player on that starting lineup went to the locker room for some type of injury throughout that series. So this Boston team is banged up. And no, I think Golden State runs away with this one. I think they win by 10+.
I do have a prop in this game too, and I don't bet many player props, but this is also correlates a little bit with one of my MVPs. I got Marcus Smart over 14.5 points tonight. I have him also 30 to win the MVP. So that's a little bit of a prop there.
All right, a little bit of basketball, a little bit of different opinions, but the viewers can decide what they like in this game. We'll move on along here to the NHL game before we get to best bets. I'll bring up the current the results of the poll. I asked everyone what their best bet in this game would be. 39.1% said Colorado in regulation. 34.8% said take the over 7. 26.1% said take the Oilers money line. And nobody said take the under 7 in this one. And I agree with the public here, the viewers. I like the over. I really like the over. I took the over 7.5 at plus 115, and I also took the over 8.5 at plus 190. I think at least by the end of the second or halfway through the third, we'll have a 4-4 game, and I'll have cashed my overs. I'm also on Edmonton team total over 3.5 at plus 115. I think asking the Oilers to get 4 goals here on I'm blanking on his name, Frank Hughes. If he even plays the full game, he could get pulled partway. I see lots of goalie pulls in this series, and yes, this could be considered an overreaction to Game 1. People could, but everyone thought there was going to be goals in this series for a reason. And over 7 at minus 130, they're kind of saying, hey, take the under, it's plus money. But no, I'm not doing that. I'm completely on the other side. I'm also on McDavid anytime goal, which was boosted at one of my books, which I got for plus 162 for McDavid to score a goal. And then Zach Hyman, plus 170. I believe he's scored in 6 straight games now. I cashed him and McDavid in the last game. So I'm going right back to both of them here. So give me Edmonton goals. Give me goals in general. And whoever wins. But just give me goals, please. Nick, Oilers and Avalanche. What do you think here?
Yeah, by the way, that line on my book is now a 7.5 at minus 125 to the under, plus 105 to the over. It's moved up.
Is that the first 7.5 of the year?
No, there was a 7.5 earlier in the year, and that game finished 3-2 in overtime. By the way, that was Toronto and Florida. So keep that in mind. I'm on the Avalanche again. I think the Avalanche sweep the series, and I do have a sprinkle on that 4-0 exact score for the series. It's going to be Mike Smith in net. I can see him getting pulled. I don't see Pavel Francouz as that much of a downgrade over Darcy Kemper. Yes, it's a slight downgrade, but I don't think it's as big of a deal as people think it'll be. And I actually lean towards an under in this game at 7.5. Definitely lean towards an under in this one. I don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger on it yet or not, but I definitely have my eye on it. And I do have a player prop in this game as well. And this one kind of is a little bit off the wall, but not really. It's not a player that people know that well, but I was looking at the numbers from last game. And the player that had the 4th most expected goals last game, individual player for the Avalanche, was Logan O'Connor. He had 0.55 expected goals. I took him over half a point at plus 234, thinking that he can either get a goal or assist in this game. So I'm looking a little bit at Logan O'Connor, which is, I know, it's not a McKinnon or a Landeskog or a Rantanen or Makar. It's a little bit down there, but I think some depth scoring here we can see from Colorado as well. And just looking at this series, looking especially at Game 1, I think it could be an overreaction. Maybe a first period under 1.5 at plus 175 could be a look as well. Because remember Game 2 in the series against Calgary, that game was 1-0 at the end of the first and then turned to 4-4 at the end of the second. So we can see something along those lines. I think that's a recency bias cup. Those are just the 2 teams that won Game 1. So for me, I'm on the Avalanche puck line, and I'm on Logan O'Connor to record a point at plus 234. And I'm going to look towards under 7.5 in this game.
All right. I went and looked at Game 1 just to see, and Francouz actually does have better numbers than Kemper. He stopped 18 of 21 shots and has an 857 save percentage. Kemper only stopped 13 of 16 with an 813. So neither goalie really good. I could look at Mike Smith's stats too, which is also horrible. He stopped 19 of 25 for 760
That's a Mike
save
Smith we
percentage.
all know and love.
However, Koskinen stopped 20 of 21 with a 952 save percentage. So I'm kind of surprised that I guess Mike Smith.
Shows how much they believe in Koskinen, right?
Well, look at the series against the Flames. The Flames lit Mike Smith up in game 1. They lit him up, but he came back in game 2 and he ended up taking them right to the series. So we'll have to see what happens here. Tim, Oilers and Avalanche. Oh, before we get to Tim, Terry, I really appreciate the comment. And yes, with me and Nick on the show, you're always going to get a variety of picks and both sides because we're always against each other. So you'll always get to hear both sides. And yes, I agree with this. Rangers will break Vasi's streak tomorrow, but we'll get to that tomorrow. Tim,
We'll see.
Oilers and Avalanche. What do you think here?
Real quick score update. Santiago Espinal doubles in the bottom of the 5th, 2-0 Blue Jays. I only say that because I have the Blue Jays run line, so it's nice. I have $0 invested in this game tonight. The only thing I have invested with this one is that Nick has Colorado puck line up on the site. I don't bet a lot of hockey. I'll bet it from time to time. I've been betting it a little bit during the playoffs. Huh?
You're going to bet it next year.
We'll see. But this is
Buffalo's going to be better next year. So.
Well, yeah.
Buffalo Sabres money line every day.
Hey, you joke. I'm getting my dollar ready for them for the cup. Let's do this. As soon as the odds come out, bam, Sabres dollar for the cup. Let's do it. Anyways, it would have to be a lean towards the. Obviously, I agree with Nick, Colorado, and I think this is going to be another one of those high scoring games. Normally, you would say, normally I would go, well, we saw 14 goals. I would want to go under because recency bias. Everybody's going to be all over the over. No, I really don't. I don't think that it's going to go under. I think that it's 7.5 for a reason. I think that this one's going to hit another 11-goal game or something in that nature. I don't think that Edmonton can stop Colorado. I really don't. They have one of the best offenses in the league. Then they have what the second best offense in hockey behind Florida this year. So I feel like this is a spot where Colorado scores another 7 goals today by themselves.
All right. We'll get to best bet segment here. And I will get this here. We'll start with dog of the day, as we always do. We have one NHL, one NBA, and one MLB dog. So we have a dog from each sport for everybody. For me, I'm taking the Edmonton Oilers in the NHL as my dog of the day. Nick is taking the Boston Celtics of the NBA as his dog of the day. And Tim is taking the Mets as his dog of the day here. Bryant is putting in his picks, but he has not put in a dog of the day. So we'll just assume here that he's probably doesn't have a dog of the day. But if he does, he'll get it typed in here. Over or under. For me, I do like the St. Louis Chicago first 5 under 4.5. As I said, I really do like that one. But I have to go with the Edmonton Colorado over 7. It is still 7 at my book. Obviously, as Nick said, you'll be able to find it for 7.5 or 7 at this point. But I think you could take the over 7. You could take the over 7.5. And like I said, I'm on the over 8.5. So obviously, with being on the over 8.5, I had to take the over 7 here in the spot. Nick and Tim, both on the same total. They're taking Washington and Cincinnati over 9.5 in this one. Oh, interesting. Brian's going against me. He's taking the St. Louis and Chicago first 5 over 4. So that's kind of surprising there. He likes runs in the first 5 there. In that one. Best bets, best parlay pieces here. For me, today was a tough day to decide. I've had 2 pushes in a row. So I won't have a push in today's game. I'm taking Edmonton team total over 4.5 at plus 115. Or sorry, 3.5.
They can't score half a goal.
No, sorry, Edmonton team total over 3.5 plus 115.
I was gonna say 4.5 sounds awfully high.
Yeah,
cheating.
Well, no, I could see that happening too, but I would definitely want better than plus 115. And my best parlay piece, I'm taking a player to get a hit against the Mets. I'm taking Trey Turner to continue his hit streak
That's fine.
as my parlay piece. Nick, you're taking Boston Celtics money line as your best bet. Colorado Avalanche money line as your parlay piece. Tim is fading the Dodgers and taking the Mets -1.5 at +215. And your
225.
parlay piece, Washington Cincinnati over 7.5.
Yeah, it's an alternate line to -250. That's why I threw the odds in there, because I know it's 9.5 on the real books, but in that for my parlay piece, I did an alternative spread.
All right. And Brian is kind of going against Nick here. He's taking Golden State Warriors first quarter -1. So he thinks the Warriors will jump out to an early lead. And then his parlay piece is Colorado Avalanche money line. And that is the show. Best luck to everybody tonight. Smash the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Hit the like button if you like the content. We appreciate all the support. If you're interested in coming in on the show, I'm starting the I guess you could say recruitment process of adding a couple more people, so that we always have around 3 to 4 people for sure. And if anybody is interested in growing your followers and growing the show's followers, we'd appreciate it. So we will be here again tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, for another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. Best luck to everybody tonight. Have a good one, guys.